Hello, I'm Emma from English. We'll continue talking about modal verbs today, but this time modal verbs that express ability. To express ability in English, you need to use these verbs: can, can't, could, couldn't, and be able to. Now, can and can't are pretty simple. They're both used to express ability in the present tense. You can speak English. My mum can pick us up. I can ask my brother for help. We also use be able to express the same thing. You are able to speak English. My mum is able to pick us up. I'm able to ask my brother for help. But notice that the be verb conjugates to the subject when we're using be able to. But when you're using the modal verb can, it doesn't matter what the subject is, the modal verb is always the same. And this is true for all modal verbs, they have just one form. Now, the present tense is simple. But when we talk about ability in the past, we need to pay closer attention to the rules. Because we use could to talk about general ability. And we use was or were able to talk about specific ability in the past. To express yourself correctly, you need to understand what is general ability and what is specific ability. If someone had the ability to do something at all times and in many different situations, then this is a general ability. She could read by the time she was 5. She could read anything, books, newspapers, letters, anything. This is a general ability. So could is the correct choice here. Now, if someone had the ability to do something at a specific time, in a specific situation, well, this is specific ability. She was able to read Little Red Riding Hood in front of the class. This is a specific situation. So when you're talking about a specific ability, to be able to is the correct choice. So in these examples, we used different words to express ability in the past. It's a little trickier, isn't it? But fortunately, the negative form is the same in general and specific situations in the past. It's just couldn't. She couldn't read by the time she was 5. She couldn't read Little Red Riding Hood in front of the class. I think we should probably practice expressing ability in the past tense just for a moment before we move on. So what you need to do is choose the correct word to complete the sentence. Okay? Choose the correct word. When my neighbor slipped down the stairs this morning, I help her. So think about this situation. Is it general? Or is it specific? This is a specific situation in the past, isn't it? We know when and exactly what was happening. So I was able to help her is the correct choice. She speak a little Japanese when she was younger. Is it general or is it specific? It's general. So could is the right choice. She could speak. My brother not start the car last night. Well, this is a negative sentence, isn't it? We can see not. So it must be couldn't. My brother couldn't start the car last night, or he could not start the car last night. My boss's phone was switched off all day today. Finally, I got through at around 5 p.m. and I speak to her. This is quite a specific situation, isn't it? So was able to is the right answer.
Hello, today we are going to talk about models of ability, for example, can, could, and be able to. In the first place, we need to see the difference between can and be able to. In terms of meaning, it's exactly the same. Both are used to talk about abilities in the present or things that you can do in the present. For example, you can say, Annie can swim, but she can't ride a bike. Or you can say, I can play the guitar and sing. Okay, these are things or abilities that you have in the present. And the same happens with be able to. You can say he's able to park a car, but he's not able to drive in traffic yet. Or you can say he's crazy, he thinks he's able to stop time with his mind. The only difference is in the context. So basically, can is used for more normal situations. It's a little bit more common. And be able to, it's preferred for more formal situations. So we can say that be able to is a bit more elegant or a little bit more serious or formal than can in the present. Now, let's talk about the past. Okay, when we talk about abilities in the past, then we would use could. So, for example, we can say my father could speak 5 languages when he was young, for example. Or we can say he was a very good tennis player and he could beat anybody. Okay, so we are speaking about things that people could do in the past or the abilities that they had in the past. Now, if we have be able to in the past, we can say was able to or were able to. So this is only used when talking about what happened in a particular situation and something that happened only once. Okay, so we can say Jack and John played a tennis match yesterday and John was able to beat Jack. So John beating Jack, it's not a general ability or something that he could do all the time, for example, speaking 5 languages, but something that John did only on one particular situation and he did it only once. That's why we say John was able to beat Jack and not John could beat Jack. We can also say there was a fire, but we were able to escape. So we were able to escape. Again, it's a particular situation that happened only once in the past. That's why we say we were able to escape and not we could escape. In the case of a negative, we prefer couldn't and not wasn't able to or weren't able to. So in both situations, in past abilities, for example, my father couldn't swim, we can use couldn't, or I couldn't read when I was 5, again a past ability, but also if you say some people couldn't escape from the fire, we prefer to use couldn't and not was able to because it's the negative, okay? So when we're speaking about the negative ability or negative situations, we prefer to use couldn't and not was able to or wasn't able to. The same happens with this situation. Yesterday, Jack couldn't beat John because it's in the negative, so it's more common to use couldn't. You have here an example. My little boy couldn't speak until he was 2 years old, or my little boy wasn't able to speak until he was 2 years old. You need to decide which is right. Okay, the right answer is couldn't. My little boy couldn't speak until he was 2 years old, because if you remember, when we have a negative in the past, we prefer to use couldn't because it's much more common than wasn't able to. Wasn't able to is correct, but it's not that common. We have another example. She's much better after the operation. She can walk again in 2 months, or she'll be able to walk again in 2 months. Here we have an example with the future. So because it's not present or past, we need to use be able to. She'll be able to walk again in 2 months. And it's impossible to say she can walk again. Another example, I can't send emails at the moment, my computer doesn't work, or I am not able to send emails at the moment, my computer doesn't work. In this case, we are speaking about the present, so both of them are correct. We can say I can't send or I am not able to send. The only difference, if you remember, is that be able to is a little bit more formal. So it depends on the context that you're using, you can use one or the other.
Hey, I am Alejo Lopera and I can teach English for hours because I just love it. Hello, I am Michael Jordan and I could play basketball for hours back in the 90s. Hello, I am Leonardo da Vinci and I was able to paint the Mona Lisa. Hello, I am Fiona. I am Alejo's cat and I can sleep for hours. Hey, I am Christopher Columbus and I could reach the Indias and discovered America. Hey, what's up? This is Neil Armstrong and I was able to be the first man on the moon. Como puedes ver, aquí estamos usando tres opciones: can, could y be able to. Can es un verbo, es el verbo poder y no tiene infinitivo ni gerundio, tampoco presente perfecto o futuro. Can solo puede conjugarse en presente simple. Por ejemplo, I can sing, I can run. Y desde luego su forma negativa, I can't sing, I can run. Could es un verbo modal que solo puede usarse con tres alternativas de tiempos verbales. En pasado simple se puede traducir como pude. Por ejemplo, I could go to the gym today. I could find a cheap plane to Spain. Able to también se puede traducir como poder, pero en este caso estamos hablando de una oportunidad específica, un momento específico en el que se pudo hacer algo. Este puede usarse en diferentes tiempos verbales, como por ejemplo, in the future I will be able to buy my own house. I am studying English, so I am able to communicate with people. I was able to read in Latin, but I forgot how to do it.